In a dark room he stands, hovering over the chair he placed near the center of the bedroom. There's a faint glow of a monitor beside him. His grip tightens on the rope as he takes a stand on the chair. He looks around the darkness, expecting something, but not knowing what. A person? An excuse? He looks down at the rope in his hands. It glows slightly and starts to feel heavier. Deep breaths. Deep breaths. He chants to himself. You can do this. It's time. He reaches his hand up and searches for the hook he placed in the ceiling. It's been a long time, but you're finally gonna get some use. He laces the rope around the hook and ties it tight. Those other times didn't count. I wasn't really ready. I had things to do before. Well, you know. He holds the other end of the rope and places it lightly around his neck. I think this is the time. I know I don't have a terrible life, but I just feel so empty, so lost, so hopeless. He swallows in a quick moment. It always feels so weird once it's around my neck. I already feel like I can't breathe and I just have to take in as much air as I can. This has to be done though. There's no real reason to not to at this point. I know I've been here at least 1,000 times, but this is for real. This is the moment. I have no real regrets. I've cut most of the ties with my friends and families. I think my time here is done. As his final thoughts rush through his head, a ding sounds through the room. A message? Who would be messaging me? He stares at the computer screen, trying to see, but to no avail. It doesn't matter. They don't really need a reply. It won't really matter anyway. Another message dings. But what if... No, I can't put this off. It's always something. I forgot to take out the trash. I forgot to leave the door unlocked in case someone needs to get in easily. I forgot to cover the windows in case a child walks by. It's always something. The noise echoes through the room once more. But it could be someone who needs me. But who would need me? Ding. I know it's just another excuse, but I don't want someone else to go through this too. Maybe they need help. Ding. Okay, I'm going. I'll just pick up with this afterwards. He reaches the rope over his head and lets it hang from the ceiling. He slowly lets himself down from the chair and walks over to his desk. He pulls up the messages and they read. Hey, Harry. Look, I need to talk to you about something serious, okay? So, once you get this, please message me. I hope you get this soon because it's sort of important. Better yet, just call me, okay? Harry looks down and rereads the messages. Sarah? What could she want? Is everything okay? Sarah's a woman that Harry used to be very close to. They shared a romance that was, but wasn't something. After a while they drifted apart, but still considered each other close friends, even though they wouldn't speak with each other for months or even years. Harry still thought of her often. I guess I should call her. He reaches down for his headset, pulls it over his head. The cord brushes against his neck and he jumps for a moment. After catching his breath, he decides to call Sarah. Hey, Harry! Hey, Sarah. What's up? Look, there's something important I need to talk with you about, okay? Yeah, I figured that. What do you need to talk about? So you know Jared, right? The guy with the shirt? You were dating him, right? Yeah. Well, I still am, sorta. But maybe not for long if you catch my drift. I don't. What's going on? Well, we're actually going to be getting married soon. Pretty soon, actually. Like, in 3 days. Whoa, married? Seriously, that's amazing. In 3 days? Wow, that's so close. Yeah, I know. I'm really excited. I know it's really short notice, but we really didn't want to wait that long to finally tie the knot. Oh, so this was a spur of the moment kind of thing? No, not really. We've always talked about it, just never sort of did it, you know? But then we decided it just felt right, that we should do it sooner than later. It's not going to be huge or anything, but I know that I need you to be there for it. Is there any way you can make it? Well, to be honest, I don't know. I kinda had plans. Please cancel them if you can. Like, I know we don't really talk, but are a big part of my life. You're one of my best friends, and I couldn't feel right getting married without you being there to see it happen. I guess I can move some stuff around. I'm glad you still think of me that way. I'll definitely be there. Just send me the details, okay? I will. Look, I gotta go. There's lots of planning still to do, and I'm about to go pick up my dress. But we'll talk soon, okay? I'll see you in like 3 days. Bye! Bye. The call ends and Harry hangs his head low. Another excuse? Maybe. But it's not like I can just leave her there like that. She apparently really needs me there. I guess 3 more days won't hurt. I should probably get my suit dry cleaned. It has sort of been laying around the place, so I doubt it's wedding material at the moment. I should probably also shave. There's so much to do, and it's not even my wedding. He sighs slowly and stands back up on the chair. I can't really have you hanging around all night while I sleep. I'm pretty sure it's a bad omen or something. I'd rather nothing happen in my last 3 days on Earth. He unties the rope from the hooks and drops it near his bedside. As he gets down, he kicks it underneath his bed, sits down on his mattress. I'll just get everything done tomorrow. That'll be enough time, right? He lays down and slowly drifts to sleep. 3 days later, Harry arrives at Sarah's wedding. It's taking place in her backyard. There's traditional arch with a separate assortment of seats facing towards it. Beyond the seats are tables set up for after the wedding drinks and food. Mostly everything is white, with the exception of the suits and dresses being worn. Harry looks around to see if there's anyone else he knows. There's mostly strangers, most likely family of the bride and groom. The wedding definitely seemed rushed, but it still had elegance. Harry, not really knowing where to go or what to do, walked over to one of the seats in front of the arch and sat down. Other people eventually started to flock around, some asking him to move seats so they can be close to their respective family members. After a short while, the wedding ceremony began. There wasn't really much to the wedding. The groom stood beside his best man, while the bridesmaids waited for their bride. Music played, and Sarah made her way down the aisle. As she passed Harry, her smile grew even wider. She mouthed towards him, "You came!" Even with all the despair he's been feeling, Harry couldn't help but smile. She looked beautiful and genuinely happy to see him there. After Sarah took her place, the wedding went on as weddings do. Traditional words were spoken by the priest, vows were said, a kiss was had, cheers were all around. Afterwards, many of the guests retreated back to the tables and began digging into the food while the rest stood around the arch and mingled. Sarah's sister brought out a boombox and began shouting, "What's this wedding without some music?" Sarah looked over to her and her eyes got wider. "It's time to start this party!" She placed the boombox down on one of the chairs and played it, started playing some 80s rock music, and some of the guests started getting into the groove. Sarah and Jared took a place beside the arch and started dancing. Harry smiled to himself, thinking that he really just didn't fit in here right now. He decided to take a step inside the house to clear his head. As he was walking through the house, he noticed many pictures of Sarah along the walls. She was often accompanied by one or several people, friends and family. He couldn't help but think to himself, I'm not really in any of these. I guess we never really took many pictures together. Or was it that we just weren't as close as I thought? His head started to feel a bit cloudy. I know she wants me here, but I still don't really understand why. Doubt started to overcome him as he sighed in relief. I'm really worrying about nothing. This isn't all gonna matter soon anyway. He started to go up the stairs, but stopped once he heard a door close behind him. Sarah just walked in from outside and started heading towards the stairs. "Oh, Harry, what are you doing here? Where are you going?" "Oh, I'm just looking around. Not really much of a dancer." What are you doing away from the party?" "Well, you might not be much of a dancer, but I am. And I can't do the kind of dancing I want to do in this dress, so I'm going to change." "Honestly, with the way you dance, I don't think it'll matter what you wear." I'm gonna take that as a compliment. Thank you. Now, if you excuse me, I need to get upstairs and change. Sarah brushes past Harry and climbs upstairs. Harry, wanting answers, started to follow her. She led him down a hallway and eventually walked on one of the doors. After a few minutes, she comes out wearing shorts and a t-shirt. Not very formal for a wedding, huh? Harry jests. It's my wedding and my house. I wear what I want. I'm just messing with you. Seriously, though, I really need to know. Why did you want me here so badly? What was so important that I had to be here? What was so important? I got married. Isn't that important? It is. I don't see where I fit in all of this. I don't see how I'm some key to this experience. I mean, we don't even really talk. Sometimes for even years. When we do talk, it's not about much. I mean, looking at the pictures on your wall, you can see that I was never really a big part of your life. I just don't see what it is. I don't see why you wanted me here in the first place, if not to just rub it in my face that we're not together. That we were never really a thing. Sarah steps back, holding her chest. Her eyes start to well up as tears start to stream down her face. She looks down, hiding her tears. She tries to bring some words out, but all that comes out are short gasps. Eventually, she manages to bring out a few words. I can't explain it, okay? I can't tell you what it is. As Sarah manages to choke out her words, a dark shadow begins to grow behind her. It grows larger and eventually starts to take form. It forms in the shape of a person, but somehow feels entirely different. I don't know what you want me to tell you, okay? I just needed you here. The shadow comes out as a man. It gives the presence of a man, but has nothing. It doesn't have a face. It doesn't have a body. It's pure darkness. But at the same time, is its own entity. It spills emptiness and despair into the hallway, sending chills down Harry's spine. The man begins to spread itself to grab Sarah. Harry shouts to her, "Look out!" and grabs her arm and pulls her away. They fall backwards a bit and both face the man. What is that? Sarah asks Harry, not sure what answer to get. I don't know, it just appeared behind you. It's a man? I don't really like the way it feels. I feel lonely. Even more lonely than usual. You've been feeling lonely? The man starts to draw closer, moving his arm like shadows along the walls. His arms start to extend towards Harry and Sarah, creating darkness wherever they pass. We need to get out of here. Let's go outside. Harry pulls Sarah towards the staircase. They both begin rushing down as fast as they can. The man follows behind them, keeping up with each of their steps. His presence increases as the closer they get to the outside. Once they reach the door, Harry goes to open it, but the doorknob doesn't turn. It won't open. I can't open it. We can't get out. Harry tries harder, but to no avail. I don't know what to do. Sarah holds on to Harry, shaking. I don't know what this thing is, but I feel like it's going to kill me. It feels like death. You can't die. It's not supposed to be like that. Quickly, Harry looks over. The man is getting ever closer and is about to reach them. He brings Sarah over to the nearest room he can find and locks the door. They stand together for what seems to be their last moments in the bathroom. Well, I never thought it would happen in the bathroom, Harry chuckles. I just figured it would be in my bedroom like I always planned. Like you always planned? Sarah looks up at Harry with her mouth wide open. What do you mean? You don't mean you've been planning to... You actually caught me about to when you messaged me the other night. I already had the rope around my neck. I just had to kick the chair and it would have been done. Sarah remained silent and still. She didn't know how to respond or what to even say. As they stood there, the man's presence began to fill the room. His shadowy figure began to cover the walls and ceiling. It was about to engulf them in nothingness. Those pictures? Sarah finally spoke. On my wall. Those pictures are memories that I forget about. I need pictures so I can look back on them and remember. The reason we don't have any pictures together is because I never forgot the times I spent with you. I was never going to forget. Sarah clenched Harry's arm as they both started to fade. We may no longer be what we were, We may never be romantically involved, but you're still my best friend. Life is hard. It's hard to say the things you want to say. It's hard to tell the people you cherish so much just how you feel. It's hard to tell someone you think about them all the time, even when you don't talk to them. It's hard to explain your feelings. I'm sorry I made you feel the way you did. I needed you at my wedding because you're a huge part of my life. You're my best friend, and I care about you deeply. I just couldn't imagine taking one of the biggest steps ahead in my life without someone who is as important to me as you are there. Tears from Sarah's face start to fall and fade into the darkness. I know I'm rambling, and I know I'm crying, and we're about to die, but I just needed you to know. I need you to know that I still think about you, and I still think of you as my best friend. Sarah pulls away from Harry and tries to collect her tears before they fade away. Harry looks down at her and then at himself. He can hardly see either of them as they've both been almost completely transitioned into nothingness. I honestly didn't know. I didn't know that's how you felt. Harry broke the silence once more. I think about you almost every day. I wonder how you are, what you're doing, and if you think about me still too. Actually, hearing you say that just makes me feel... It makes my heart glow. I've been feeling so apart, so distant from everyone. But I don't think I've ever felt closer to someone. I really needed this. Thank you so much. Harry reached out into the nothingness and grabbed what was left of Sarah's hand. In an instant, everything changed. The darkness started to recede from the bathroom door, and the man's presence began to fade from existence. Once the last shred of nothingness was gone, Sarah looked up and saw Harry looking down at her. They helped each other up and both smiled. I'm not really sure what that was, Sarah began to speak. To be honest, it's something I've been feeling for a long time. The absolute emptiness and despair and nothingness. I don't know if it just manifested itself in the being or if it was some strange supernatural thing. Whatever it was, it seems to be gone. How long have you been wanting to kill yourself? Sarah backed up a bit, avoiding eye contact with Harry. I don't know. I don't even know how long it's been. But I think I'm gonna put it off for a while. A good while. After all, there are more big steps in your life that you'll need me there for, right? I'd love to see the kind of mother you'll make. Sarah looked up at Harry to see him smiling at her. His words made her chest flutter. She met his gaze and began to speak. Well, I just got married, so I don't know how long it's going to be before I have children. You're in for a long wait, buddy. Harry laughs. Well, I hope so. I think it's time you get out there to your people. I doubt Jared's doing well dancing without you. Harry helps Sarah up and they begin to exit the bathroom. Sarah replies, Oh, you didn't know? There's a best friend dance too. So I hope you brought your dancing shoes because I'm going to make you tear it up. Harry just laughs and smiles as they both leave to join the rest of the party. The man without anything had disappeared into the nothingness that he spawned from, but only for now. As the two walked through the doors, the barriers of existence began to fade, and soon enough Harry was back at his own house. He sat on a recliner watching a lifeless TV. Behind him, a woman sat at a desk browsing a laptop. She started to call out to him. Oh hey, you know your friend Sarah? She asked Harry. Yeah, what about her? She got married today. She seems really happy. She got married at Niagara Falls. Isn't that something? Wow, really? Good for her. You know, I don't really care about a big fancy wedding like that, right? When we get married, it could be in our backyard for all I care. I'd just be happy to get married to you. As long as we're together, any place is fine, hon, Harry responded. As their conversation ended, Harry's mind drifted back into possible existences, moments that never happened. He brings himself back to the room where he sets up the noose. Sometimes he pulls it off, sometimes he finds excuses. Always it's a thought, never an action. but the feelings stay. The loneliness, emptiness, and nothingness stays. Sometimes he feels the loneliest, even when he's surrounded by those he loves. The man without anything sometimes makes an appearance in his thoughts. Ever so often he starts to understand who and what the man is. He's a man without anything. A man without soul, without life. A man without closure.